Hi, everybody. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome. Oh God, Kobe. Welcome to the second episode of Candid Moms with Amaka, and today's topic would be pregnancy journey and significant changes, after childbirth. The last episode was just me, and that was like last week Sunday. But today I'm going to be inviting my mom friend Tessy, and Tessy we've been like very old friends right from my early 20s, the years when we used to model together in Lagos. And thankfully the year I moved into this country, coincidentally she moved with me, but she stays in like a different state, and she has been my go-to for every single thing. Like, if you know how difficult it is moving to another country, sometimes it's very lonely, and if you don't have like your friends around you, it could be very challenging. But thank God that she's been there, and I hope that I've been there for her as well. I'm waiting for her to join. So if you haven't watched the first episode, it's on my YouTube channel. Like I said, the whole point of this is, me posting it on my YouTube channel is actually not for Instagram. But the reason why I come on live every Sunday to talk with my friends is because it's like one of the easiest way to sort of connect with people. I'm not very conversant with Zoom, so I feel like IG Live is the easiest, and after I just download it and post it on my YouTube. So please go to my YouTube channel and watch last Sunday's episode. It was just me. I hope you find it interesting, and it's Candid Moms. My son is not sleeping. He's my co-host today again, and you'll be hearing his voice at the background. I mean, what can I do? Okay, so I'm waiting for my friend, and I hope she joins in quickly. She hasn't joined. Yeah, this is the second time ever. Thank you. This is the second time ever. Hi, Mola. Hey, Mola, ho. Long time. Yeah, this is the second time ever I'm hosting a live, an IG live, so I'm a bit nervous because I'm very shy. Yeah, but we have to make it work. Thank you. Why is she? Why is she? She told me she was ready. So if you know any mom friends or any expecting moms, please tell them about the Candid Moms with Amaka, because we'll be sharing like juicy details from pregnancy to motherhood. Trust me, it's not the easiest journey, but thank God for strength. Thank God for the patience to sort of to push through, because trust me, if you're not patient, you could get depressed. It's where's Tessy? Okay, so where did I stop last week? Last week I stopped when I think when he came. Oh yeah, I remember. So last week when he came, he had like the cord tied, like a cord tied around his neck like twice, but I didn't know about it because the doctors didn't tell me, until they had cleaned me up, cleaned him up, and then my husband's like, oh, he had a cord like wrapped around his neck, and I'm like, what if I had pushed when the doctor said just wait? Because while I was pushing and his neck came out, the doctor was like, wait. I didn't know why, but I was just so tired, and I'm like, let me just push and, get it over and done with. But somehow I, waited, and they cut the cord off his neck. He didn't cry. For some reason, he wasn't crying. He wasn't, making any sound. And that sort of worried me because they say when babies are born, to know if they are alive and their lungs are functioning okay, they sort of cry, so he didn't cry, but thankfully he's fine, and he turned a year old on Thursday, so officially a toddler mom. Not He's not a baby anymore. He's not like my little baby anymore. But the journey so far has been amazing. The only thing I would say has affected, I don't want to use the word affected because I don't want it to sound like a negative thing, is my sleep. Because being newborn, he wakes up every 2 hours at night. I have to feed him, change his diaper and put him back to sleep. And then even if he like sort of sleeps all through, I still have to wake up and pump and do all of that, But my body just got used to not getting enough rest, and now it's like it's the normal. And I guess that's why we have like the mom brain thing, because I forget a lot. And I was doing a research, I think that was last week, and they say if you don't get enough sleep, you would forget a lot of things, So I've been forgetting things like a lot, so much, So yeah. Then what else did I want to talk about? I'm still waiting for my friend. I don't know if it's okay to go tell her, hey, what's going on. I don't know what will happen to the live, if it will still be here. Well, yeah, today is not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about her. But let me see. Okay, apparently she's been waiting for me as well. So thank God I went to tell her. Yeah. So what was I saying? Being a boy mom is tough because she's here. She is here. So how do I okay, Tessy, you have to request. Send in a request. Oh yeah, she's here. Okay. What do you have in your mouth?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
How
How
are
you
you?
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I had started, and if I didn't sort of pause to come tell you that
I was
I'll be
actually
here
waiting.
talking
I
because
was
I didn't
I
prepare
was
for this.
like, I know it's supposed to be 2 p.m. Like, why isn't she adding me yet? I was waiting and you had already started. So I'm so sorry that I came late. I'm usually not late. So please pardon me for today. How are you guys?
Okay, so another introduction, because I had introduced you before, and bear with me because my son is here, so you're going to be hearing his voice. I mean, that's why it's candid moms.
I understand because I have kids too. Hi, Kobe. Can I see his face? Why not? Okay, guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Tessy. I'm a mother of two. My daughter is 10 and my son is 7. Um, I was I was a mom at a pretty, I think my early 20s. So, yeah, I'm here to talk about our special episode and edition of being a candid mom and how far that journey has helped me, and also life changing in both positive and also, the other way around. But
Mhm.
we like, I had to adjust in every way. So I'm here for you, for all of my ladies. Sometimes I see on social media, you see a cute baby, and the next time, oh, my
My
ovaries,
ovaries.
honey, come here. Let me tell you everything you need to know. Okay? Because I started pretty early. I wasn't ready. Nothing in this world could prepare me, but thank God I'm holding on. So I'm
Mhm.
going to hand over back to Amaka before we get right into it.
Yeah, so Tessie I've known Tessie for years, like back in my early 20s, we used to
When we
model
were
together.
broke
Yeah,
babes. Yes, yes,
we used to,
yes.
we used to stand in line to get
Mm-hmm.
auditions under the hot sun for
For ushering
hours.
jobs, for
You did
marketing,
downhill, right?
Yeah.
Did you do
What?
downhill? You did
Yes,
downhill.
me? Of course. I did downhill like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Downhill took me all over Nigeria, basically.
Nigeria, I know, I
Yes,
know.
yes.
Thank
It
God,
was
thank God for the journey. It's been awesome. And then moving here, and she moved as well. I'm like, thank God, I have someone I know. Because it's very lonely if you don't know anyone here. And
it is.
it's a different thing when you know. Okay, so you have your family in Nigeria, you have your friends, but when you move down here and you actually can talk to someone who is going through almost the same thing as you, because the cultural difference is a lot. And if you don't have someone who is going through the same thing, they might not get it. So
At all. At
let's
all.
get right into the candid moms. So
Sure.
Tessie has already said she has like 2 kids, and I know that the boy pregnancy and the girl pregnancy is totally different. I know that it cannot be the same thing at all, because for my son, they said the reason why it was sort of that easy was because it's a boy. That when it's a girl, it's totally different. So please, can you tell us more about that?
Sure. With my daughter, first I would say everything I knew about motherhood, I learned with my daughter, who happened to be my first child. I knew nothing. Yes, I grew up in a family where you take care of your siblings, your nieces, your nephews. I took care of a lot of my siblings and a lot of my
Mhm.
nephews and nieces. In fact, it was I was that good that during holiday, we call it the long holiday in Nigeria, but here we call it summer holiday.
Yeah.
My elder sisters and brothers and their wives, they would have already said, hey, you're coming to spend 2 weeks with me. Hey, you're coming to spend 3 weeks with me. You're coming to spend 4 weeks with me. Some of my nephews that I actually did take care of, some of them are married, have kids, in their own husband home, graduate and all that. But that did not prepare me for my own. It didn't. When I was pregnant with my daughter, it was just me, you know, because I was never married to my baby daddy, and he was always busy working. I lived in Lagos, he was in Abuja, and I was living alone as a pregnant woman. The only help I would say I had then was my nanny and maybe my house up and some of my family members that would come spend few days with me, and then eventually they will go back home.
Mm-hmm.
One incident happened that I will never forget with my daughter. I was 6 months pregnant. You know that pain that I don't think it's every pregnant woman that experiences it. There's a pain you experience during the second trimester into the third trimester, and it's so severe that sometimes you feel like it's an early,
Miscarriage.
yeah, like a
Yes.
miscarriage.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
at about 1 a.m. in the night, I was alone. I'd already given my nanny off day. It was a weekend, like, okay, go spend time with your family. I was alone, and I started having these cramps. I never understood what was happening, you know? Sorry that
Mm-hmm.
my face is red. Sometimes when I'm talking, it becomes pink. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
And I started having these cramps. I called my doctor. I'm like, I'm having this pain. What do I do? It got so severe that I couldn't move. Like I had to like lean to walk. I managed to take myself to the hospital, and there and then my doctor said you have to be admitted. How I got to the hospital, I don't know, but I know I was at the hospital. At that point in time, anything could have happened. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
could have lost the baby. I could have been harmful to myself, like
Yeah.
hurt myself in a way that I actually wouldn't have been able to explain. But the minute the doctor said, "Oh, you have to be admitted, ma'am," like you're not going back home, I ended up spending like 4 days in the hospital all by myself. And then, as a young mom, you just had your baby. You know, the baby you have is now, you have no experience at all. You now have a crying baby as a first child. How do you deal with that? My daughter
Mm-hmm.
could cry from here. You would hear her like 5 miles away. You know, when I call people like, she's crying so much, I don't know what to do. Have you changed her diaper? Yes. Did you give her food? Yes. Did you rock her? Yes. What does she want? I don't know. I don't know. Rock her, pamper her, dance. Sometimes 2 a.m. in the night, I'm dancing. 1 a.m. in the night, I'm dancing. I was so naive. I was young. I was like, this is not what I
Mm-hmm.
planned for. And as a matter of fact, to now be doing it alone was worse. Imagine two people having to take care of one new baby is frustrating. Now imagine only you doing
Mm-hmm.
it. I was tired. I was stressed. I was frustrated. The only help I had was my nanny. My family members will come spend 3-4 days. They're
And
gone.
go back.
That's why sometimes I tell people, like, if you see a young mom at that moment, if she would allow you, the help you can be, the relief you can give to her at that moment is to help her carry a baby for that few minutes, because that might be the only relief she might be getting from that child. I
Yeah.
experienced it. Sometimes when I'll take my daughter for to the hospital to like get her immunization or something, when somebody will be like, "Ah, madam, your baby is so beautiful. Like, can I carry the baby?" I'm like, "Yes." As they are holding that child for 5 minutes, I'm getting my relief. Like, I'm rejuvenating. Okay, please, somebody has at least helped me for like few seconds. Let me rest. And she was so picky. She would not let just anybody touch her.
It'd be like that with the girls. The girls. The girls.
Very picky. Very, very picky. Then another problem was with food. I used to be a foodie. Her dad was a foodie. This child didn't like food. You give her this, she doesn't want to eat. You give her that, she doesn't want to eat. In fact, it was so bad that she started reacting to my breast milk at 2 weeks. The doctor was like, "Madam, you have to stop breastfeeding your child. She doesn't
Wow.
like your breast milk." Yes, babe. Yes. I had to stop her. She was reacting. She didn't like it. She stopped taking it. And I was like, she hates me. She doesn't like. She doesn't like me. I'm a terrible mom. I'm like trying to take care of so many people, and my own child doesn't like me. Like it was tough, babe. It was really tough. That was with my daughter. Her journey was tough for me, but I learned. I became stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I was super prepared for the next one, and the
Next
next one
one.
was like a piece of cake, like
Yeah.
that. My daughter, I took myself to the hospital. I didn't do normal delivery. I refused to do normal delivery. I told the doctor I don't want to. Please just take her out and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I drove myself to the hospital, my bags and everything. 4 days I was already prepared. I checked myself in. I didn't call nobody. I didn't call my friends. I didn't call my family. I didn't even call her father. I had already put to bed. My baby was laying next to me. Then I started calling my family. Okay, you guys can come see your little niece and your little. She looks just like her father. Like she didn't even take anything like me. It was as if her father was the one that carried the pregnancy and gave birth to her. I'm like, this is so mean.
Tell me about it. Tell
I
me
suffered
about
so
it.
much, and she came out and she looked exactly
Looking
just
like
like
a
her dad.
dad.
Her hair was here, all coily and everything. She was white. And so she didn't even look like me. She didn't take anything from me. Then my whole family started, they're like, so you went to give birth and you didn't even call nobody. You didn't tell anybody. You didn't do anything. I said, people should just come and see her. Then they started coming. That was my own journey. I didn't know what to do. I didn't. And then my son, it was a lot easy. Your dad was present. He was always there. We went to the hospital together. He was there by my side at the hospital because at this time I had already moved from Lagos to Abuja.
Abuja, yeah.
Yes. So everything was a lot easy. From the pregnancy process to the delivery to when they were young. Sometimes he comes take the children out, and I had a lot of relief. And my son wasn't that much of a crying baby. As long as he's full, his diaper is clean, he's
He's
taking
good.
a shower, he's good.
I
He's
guess
good.
I guess
So
the boy kids are always like that because my son as well didn't give me as much stress. Just when he's hungry. When he's hungry and you don't. That was when he was still like a newborn, up until
yeah.
like 6 months. When he's hungry and you don't feed him, you're
Mm-hmm.
in for it because he will scream. But
Exactly.
right now, being like a toddler, he doesn't eat as much. And I'm like so worried, like, why are you not eating? Please eat. And he's getting so skinny. So I guess with the boys, they don't cry as much.
As
Yeah.
the girl, no. And I always tell my sister, like, she always complains the same thing like you're just saying now, that sometimes her son doesn't eat and he starts to lose weight. I'm like, this is what I tell her. I already know from day one to when the baby clocks 5, you should expect this things from this child. There are times he's gonna eat a lot. There are times he's not gonna eat.
Yeah.
There are times he's gonna be chubby. That chubbiness, he's trying to be chubby to
To
grow. It's
grow,
gonna,
to get
it's
taller.
gonna probably start bringing out teeth that will make him fall sick. That he's rejuvenating to get weak again, to
Yeah.
rejuvenate, to get weak again, until you experience all those until they're
Yeah.
like 5. If the baby is early enough, 5. Some kids do it to like 7, and then after 5, you as a mom or as a dad, you begin to get relief, a little bit of relief from the back and forth to the hospital. Oh, he's not eating. Oh, he's not doing this. Oh, he's not doing that. Till today, my daughter is 10. She still doesn't eat. When she was young, people tell me, oh, don't worry, she will eat when she's 5 years old. I said, okay, fine, no problem. 5 came and passed. Oh, don't worry, she will eat when she's 7. 7 came and passed. She still doesn't eat. So I've accepted it that it's who she is, and the one I know she likes to eat, I let her have it. a minimum level, and then I'm like, okay, you need to add some healthy things.
Yeah.
If I give her vegetable, even to chicken, to fish, to meat, she starts crying. Yes.
What
So I
does
was
she
like,
like?
what do you want? Do you want beans? You need these things to
Yeah.
grow. She'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna eat beans. Because of her, I'll cook beans. I don't like beans. My son doesn't like beans. But sometimes I do like 2 different meals in the house because I want her to eat. And then, so now imagine that stress as a mom, as a young mom going through that.
Yes. This thing you just said it reminded me of a friend of mine. She has like 3 kids, and she told me that she cooks 3 different meals for her kids. Because
Yes.
you think you will force them, you will not force them. They
At
won't eat.
all. Mm-mm. Yeah.
So you end up wasting your
Wasting
time
the
and
food.
wasting their time. So it's just best you
Exactly.
cook what they know that they eat, and just, girl, this is so much work.
It
Nobody
is.
can prepare you for
It is
motherhood.
nothing,
Nobody.
nothing, nothing. Then you now want to talk of, okay, remember when we used to do the ushering job, modeling jobs, and all that? Like we're always outside. Imagine,
Yes.
imagine a young girl with so much freedom like that. All I do is come pack things, get some change of clothes, and I'm out again. My then best friend, she'd be like, Mama, I've not seen you for 3 months. I've not seen you. Where are you? Are you okay? That's my life. I'm always out hustling. Then to now be like a total opposite of having to stay at home. It was hard. Sometimes I'll sit down, I'll be crying for my life. I'll be like, I miss my freedom. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing anymore. I'm just stuck. I feel choked up. I feel
Oh
stuck.
my
I'm not doing what I want
goodness.
to do for myself.
Oh
People
my
don't
goodness.
understand these things. They just see you taking, like, did you see you carrying this whole thing very well, and they'd be like, oh, she's doing okay. She's all right. No, honey. Sometimes I'm not
Yeah.
okay. I cry my
Girl,
eyes. I
half
cry
the
my
time
eyes
I'm not
out.
okay.
I'm
Half the
not. I'm just trying to hold on
Yeah.
because it is not easy. We're just trying to make it look easy. It is not easy. Especially when if 2 people are doing it and it's not easy, one person doing it, trust me, that's like one person doing 2 people's job
In fact, the whole village, because they say it takes a whole village to
to
train a
train up a
child.
child.
So
So right
imagine.
now, these days, even the whole village doesn't want to be involved anymore because they now know how stressful it is. the, the whole village will tell you when you were doing it. It wasn't the whole village that was there. Exactly. He wants to be on the live. Like he wants to be here too. So my dear, like it's no, like we're all just trying to hold on. You see some people, they do it so well. You wonder, oh, how do they do it that it comes out effortlessly? No, honey.
It's
Everybody's
not.
just trying.
Not. And as a young mom, you have to make time for yourself and make time for your friends. So imagine not getting enough sleep, not getting time for yourself, you know.
Yes.
But you
Mm-hmm.
also have to make time that you don't even have for yourself, for your friends,
Self. Mm-hmm.
because you don't
Exactly.
want to end up being lonely. You know, like
Exactly.
I think it was two days ago or yesterday, I had to go out, hang out with my friends because you know how America is, everybody is busy, you know. So the days that they are off, you want to catch up, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
being like a stay-at-home mom, it's just me and my child 24/7. I
Yeah.
don't get any grown-up conversations, you know. It's just
Exactly.
me. So when I
Mm-hmm.
have the time, like, no matter how tired I am, I still have to go. And sometimes, see, I have like bags under my eyes. I'm exhausted. I am tired. But I just have to push myself to sort of
Yeah.
make time for the people in my life. Like it's not easy, you know, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You have to. Then now talking about, being a mom in Nigeria and also being a mom abroad. I'm going to talk about first being a mom in Nigeria so that people can understand. Being a mom in Nigeria is way easy.
Yeah.
Because you have your friends, you have family, you can afford nanny, you can afford to get, if you want to get 50 nannies, you can afford to do that. Even the one that will wash your shoes, you can afford to do that. And also it's a lot easier because there's a way you can like take a child to a daycare, kindergarten at an early stage, and then you have a little bit of time for yourself. And then being a mom abroad is way different. Totally different. You're on your own, oh. You are on your own. I always ask people like, how do Americans or Europeans, how do they survive? You know how they survive because they have their family here. They have their grandma, uncles, aunts. Now talk of a foreigner who migrated from their country to another country. You don't have no aunts. Okay, like me. I have families, but my families don't live around me.
They are far.
They are far. My families are in other states. Can you excuse me? Yeah. Sorry, that's my daughter. My families are in other states, but the states where I'm based is just me. And as a matter of fact, I know few people in this state, but I don't have like friend like I would say I had back home. No, I don't. It's just me. My children are my friends. That's it. There are times that I would want to go do something like real quick. I have to pack everybody. A trip that would probably take me 15 minutes going alone might end up taking me like 1 hour, 15 minutes going with everybody. I have to go with everybody. Oh yeah, to the car. Let's go. And then you now start coming back. It's hard to be a mom abroad.
It is.
Hands down.
It is.
It is hard. That's why I said I'm not having any more kids. I'm serious. I'm not having any more kids. I'm done having kids. Yeah, there's someone at the door. I think there's someone at the door. Check. I think it's Melina or something. It's hard. In the beginning, hi Melina. Yeah, do you guys want to go play outside? You should go spend some time outside. Excuse me, guys.
No, it's okay. It's candid moms.
I'll be out in a second.
It's candid moms.
Okay, so those are my children, guys. They had to show themselves. So, where did I stop? Like, as I was saying, doing it abroad is not easy. It's not. It is a whole lot of work. You're not only a cook, you're a cleaner, you're a mother. And in between all this, you're a driver, you go do the groceries, you're a laundry woman. Everything is all you. I think I should make a video of me washing my toilet and post it on Instagram so that you guys can have a peek of how I live my life. Because sometimes, we post things on Instagram and everybody thinks like, oh, this person doesn't do nothing. All you just do is paint your nails and it's all clean. No, honey. No. I clean my home, I clean my space, and me, I'm such a clean freak that I can be cleaning every second, every hour. I'm walking around the house and I'm cleaning. So it's not easy being a mom, a mother abroad at all, especially when your child is now so young. You don't have no breathing space to yourself. Even when you live back home in Nigeria, you still don't have space. Now, talk of when you're here. You're going to the toilet to pee, your child is following you. You're like, they're by the door waiting for you. No privacy of any sort. That alone is enough to drive somebody nuts.
You're saying by the door. Sometimes I have to hold him. Sometimes
That,
I have
if
to
there is
hold
nothing
him.
more frustrating, I really don't know what else is. Because sometimes people run to the toilets just to get some peace and quietness. Like, you just want to sit by the toilet, you're not doing nothing, but you just want to get some peace and quietness. Like, oh, breathe.
It's your time
I got
to
this. Breathe. And you don't have that. How will you get that when everybody is walking, running elter skelter? You have bills to pay, reality hitting. You have bills to pay. So being a mother abroad is not easy. I give kudos to the women here. It's not easy. I had a little taste of it because my kids were still very young when we first came. I had a little taste of it. But when your baby is so young, like Kobe, what will you do? How do you survive?
You're going to the grocery shop and you're packing diaper bag.
And on top of it, babe, we're still gonna have to like still slave for the Instagram, you know? And everybody be thinking, we're living the life.
Let me tell you something. At first, it was weighing me down, like where I don't sort of take care of myself as much. I don't do makeup. I'm just. But after a while, I'm like, come, you're young. Why would you just, So I had to start getting ready on time. Like, if it would take me 30 minutes to get ready, and maybe I have to go somewhere, say, let's say 11 a.m. I'll wake up at 9, or I start getting ready at 8. Because sometimes you just think that things will go as smoothly as you plan.
Yeah.
But they never do. With kids, they never go as smoothly as planned.
At all. No. At all. It can never go smoothly. No. Don't it? Especially look at what you're going through now, my friend. Look at what you are going through. That is just what we're seeing on camera. What is the one we're not now saying that doesn't come to camera? Just imagine that.
Or is it the day that I have to cook?
It's not easy. It is not. It is not easy. We're just all trying to hold on. When I see some of all these chicks like, hey, slay queen, honey, you are not a slay queen until you start taking care of somebody. Take care of somebody and then come and still slay. Then you are the slay queen. As long as you're only taking care and washing your own, like my kids say, B-U-T-T, honey, you've not started slaying. You're just living. You are just living. It's not easy. Being a mother abroad, it's not. It is not. It is not. I give so much credit to the women doing it. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
We're all just trying and living our reality.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. Like, to me, this is one of the situations where I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But then I look at him, I'm like, oh,
this is yours. That's mine. You're not sharing him with nobody. Yes, like you said, it is a blessing in disguise because it comes with a lot of work. It comes with a lot of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Motherhood can really change your life. It can change your life a lot in a positive way. Mm-hmm. But very few, I would say, don't probably hold on to it. As long as you're able to like continue to just breathe one day at a time. Yeah? it's all gonna be worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when I usually tell people like, you want me to have another child, so automatically you're telling me to put my life on hold for 5 years, because that's the minimum you need to give a child to start growing. And I don't think as a mother I would not want to be present in any of my children's life as long as God gave me life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be committed. I want to be fully involved,
Mm-hmm.
because I am particular about what I expose my kids to and what they
Yeah.
are exposed to.
Yeah, especially in America.
Especially in America, you know?
Yeah.
I'm very particular. So, with all this, when I'm just thinking like, okay, fine, Tessy, you're becoming very free a little bit, I'll not get pregnant and have another baby. Uncle, it means automatically I'm a stay-at-home mom for 5
Mom.
years. 5 years. In fact, this 5 years does not include the pregnancy period. So let's just say 5 years and 9 months. I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I would want to. I'm not trying to sound selfish, but I don't think I would want to do that. I've already done 2. I'm still trying to, but I don't think I want to like start from the scratch
Again.
all over again.
So let me ask you a question. Did you go through any like depressing moments, where like was it like bad? Because
It was worse.
I would say I almost slipped into it.
No, mine
But
was worse. I think my daughter she was 4 weeks. She was, hold on, I don't know what to say. Okay. I'm gonna go outside now. Be careful, okay? I'll be watching you through the window. Okay. My daughter was 4 weeks. Yes, 4 weeks, and I slipped into depression. I slipped into depression, and I didn't want to hold her. I didn't want to like touch her. I didn't want to do nothing.
mm-hmm.
Then my then nanny, because I had a maid and a nanny. Then this was back in Nigeria.
Yeah.
She just ran to me one day at 2 a.m. in the night. Madam, 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 madam. I'm like, what is it? I dreamt that you almost killed your baby. I said, you are mad. I said, I go big straight come off your mind. Are you mad? Me that cannot even kill a fly. I'll kill a baby. How?
Oh God.
I said, God forbid. I rebuke you in the mighty name of Jesus. Let me and you. Eh? Yes, babe. I was depressed. I think that took me over 2 weeks to get over it. Like, took the help of my church helping me. They were praying. I was praying, and then gradually I came out of it. I didn't go through any form of therapist or anything because we're not very like very
big on therapy in Nigeria.
big on exactly. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like came out of that on my own. And now to talk about how as a mother, you go through something like that, and the necessary help you need to come out of it is not available or it's not handy for you. How do you handle that? And secondly, while growing up as a child, we never really used to do this, oh, I love you, mom, or I love you, dad, in Nigeria. If there's one thing I regret so much right now is that my dad passed away and I never told him how much I love him. Like, I never said that enough. I think if I ever told my dad I love you, all his life would be maybe one time, and that is towards before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Kids these days, they're very, I guess, so much hugs, so much kisses, so much I love you that even sometimes I get like irritated because I'm not used to that. I'm just learning to want to like, okay, be open to it. And another problem that really did affect me was I didn't grow up in a home where we can easily just sit down and be playing with our dad, playing with our mom. You know, I was brought up in a disciplinary home. Like, you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, do your house chores, get dressed, get ready to go to school, come back from school, do your homework, run errands and everything. If you're grown enough to cook, you cook and all those stuff.
Yeah.
So now having to have my own kids, and it's totally different. But I think the way I was able to find a balance was that their father was way different. You know, he can be here and they'll be jumping on his head. Initially, when my daughter was doing it, I was like, why is she doing that to you? That's disrespectful. But he never said anything. He was like, no, she's playing with me. Just leave her alone. I'm having my daughter time,
Oh,
father
yeah.
and daughter time, you know? Then I started understanding. You don't dare be in the sitting room when my father is in the house. You're in your room. You are in your room. So having my own kids, it's totally different. They're jumping on your dad, just sitting on him, you know, jokingly said, oh, dad, you act so silly. I do not dare tell my father that.
They don't boy you well. I'm so terrified.
Dad, you look so goofy. I don't dare. No. You're going to get beaten. Strokes. So it was different. It's totally different. But gradually I started to learn. I'm not totally out of it. Like, there's still this very tough side of me. But I try to calm down. You know, like, come, Tessy, your children are not you, and you are not your children, you know? So you gotta learn. They are teaching me more than, if I'm more than they think if they even know they're teaching me. I'm learning so much from my children.
Let me add something to that here. So the way I was raised by my mom, so she
Yeah.
was very open to affection and hugs and all of that because she's a teacher, so she sort of
Yeah.
understands that psychology. So
Yeah.
I was raised like that, but I don't think his dad was raised that way because I remember when he was still very little, I'll hold him on my chest, and I'll just hold him and sort of play with him and all that. And his grandmom, being his dad's mom, be like, no, don't hold him. You're holding him too much. You're doing this too much. You're doing that too much. But for
Yeah.
me, that was how I was teaching him how to be affectionate.
Affectionate.
Because you have this, I'm sorry, I'm going to say something. You have most of these men now that are not affectionate. And if you take it back, it's actually not their fault.
Fault.
It's more or less the way they were raised. So I'm like, I don't want my child to have a problem with his wife where his wife is complaining that
Oh,
he's
he's
not
not
being
affectionate
affectionate.
and
Yes.
expressive enough.
And then I started to realize that kids actually have their love language.
Yes.
Like if you pay attention to your child, you actually figure out your child's love language. But it's not it's not something that we are so used to back in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Except maybe the moms now. Maybe the moms now are now getting to, do all those things with their kids. Unlike back in the day where you're just so rigid, like you'd be scared to even talk, because your parents are home or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that has like a lot to play. It has a lot to play in a child's life, like being affectionate to a child. And like you said, children have their love language. Hugging you, kissing you a lot, showing you so much love and wanting to be around you, and probably even drawing something on a piece of paper and giving to you, could be a way of them telling you, I love you, or I miss you, or I want to spend more time with you. You know, you as a parent, you just got to like
Figure it out.
find a way to understand and figure out. People like me that I didn't get that. Despite the fact that I was my dad's favorite girl, you know, nobody in the whole family can dare eat on the same plate with my father. That's how much. You don't dare. Only me, Tessy. If I never chop, my papa go tell me, no, come and eat with me. He doesn't see anybody else. He sees me. And my dad had a lot of children, you know? So I was his favorite girl. But if I still could not get that kind of affectionate from him, and it still affects me, even after having my own children, now to talk of like just a regular child who's not probably the best child, the favorite child of the father, or the favorite child of the mother, you know? So I think mom and dads these days, they know that yes, things are changing and they're beginning to like evolve into another level of showing more affections to their children, you know, more love, in not just in words but in expression. You know, it's now I would say it's now happening more often, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing, because imagine if I had grown up and I had, you know, parents like, oh, all the I love yous in the world, where I heard everything, you know, and then I got all the hugs, all the kisses. In fact, right now, it's just, I think it's recently that I started telling my siblings, oh, I love you, I want you, you're good, you're beautiful, you're this and all that. Like, I started saying it. I started being more open, you know? Before it was really really hard, and it would do more good than harm if we could be more expressive to our children, instead of just, yes, being disciplined is good, knowing where to stop a child and not letting your affection take over and letting the child spoil is also good. But at the same time, we need to balance it. We need to try to balance it, whether as a mom or as a dad. We need to try to balance it. We need to play more with our kids. In fact, whatever I'm saying to all of you guys here, I'm also saying to myself. You know, we need to play more with our kids. It's not just about these days that the kids are just on their phone and all that, like more outdoors, more rolling on the grass. It's not gonna stain your white. Even if it does, you can wash it off.
Wash it.
Exactly. Roll on the floor. Do those dear silly kitty shit. Sorry. Silly kitty things. And you end up finding out that you're giving yourself more relief.
Tell me about it. Let me tell you something that happened. So last week, I took him to the play park, you know, and you know the swing. That swing was in secondary.
Babe, that was a therapy for me last week for at my son's soccer club. Like, he was playing soccer and I was swinging.
I felt so good.
Good. Yeah. Yes, it is. Do your kid stuff. Run around with them. Like, do what they do. Because these days, I think we're just too much of an adult that we feel like, oh, we don't need to do these things anymore. But honey, the happiness we all need might just come from that. The relief from stress and anxiety that we're probably going through might just come from that. So let's actually, like Uncle Shagan said, get more involved with our kids. Play with them. It's not all about the phone and the internet and everything anymore. It's always going to be there. But a lot of the kid things that we did, you know, like playing in the rain. I always tell my children that when I was young, I played in the rain. Like we'll
Same.
play in the mud and go under the rain and be jumping. But by the time we get back, we get flogged. We get flogged. So
You know, there's this.
my son was telling me, "Ima, I want us to play under the rain. Like when it's raining, I want us to just go around." I'm like, yes, we're gonna do that. It's fun.
It's fun.
We need
It
to
is.
do more kid stuff. Like be more involved with them, because that's the way we get to connect more with them. And that way, trust me, if there were anything under the carpets that you probably didn't know, or your child didn't feel comfortable to come tell
Telling
you, you might get it out of them like that with ease. And they won't be stressed. They won't feel pressured like, okay, I'm telling my mom what I'm not supposed to tell them. And mind you, these children at school or anywhere, they have like this don't tell code. Like no matter what happens,
What are you
they
doing?
don't share with their parents. Let's say if they're like 3 cliques of friends or 2 cliques of friends, 4 cliques of friends, something happens and they don't share. Like they'll be like, okay, we're doing the girls don't tell code and all this stuff. They keep it as a secret. If you have good relationship with your child, that can never work. You as a parent will always know. You know, if you
Yeah.
come down to your children's level, like getting more involved with them, playing with them, going around with them, other than just being strict and disciplined and just sticking to eat your food, go to bed, 1 hour TV, don't do this, don't do that. You can get a lot out of them, and you'll be able to correct a lot of mistakes,
Yeah.
prevent a lot of things from happening by coming down to your children's level than just being too straightforward with them.
Let me add something to that. So I always like to use myself as an example, So
Yeah.
growing up as the last child in the house, now Naija, you dare not
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
You dare not express yourself in
At
certain ways
all.
that you shouldn't as the last child. So what did
Yeah.
that do? That sort of made me start to implode, you know, instead of me to, because I'm upset about something but I cannot express myself. I would
Yeah.
just start imploding and I'll be angry. And I realized that I started being an angry person because
Yes.
growing up, I wasn't taught to express
Be
myself.
expressive.
I didn't, it affected my communication skills. It affected like so many things. So I think it was when I was in my late 20s, I'm like, I need to start learning how to sort of communicate and how to, not implode. Because when people do stuff to me, I wouldn't be able to talk about it because I wasn't trained to talk about it. Even if I can talk to my mom, I can't talk to every other person. So it's
Yes.
also important to teach your child to express themselves in, ways that are respectful, to
Yeah.
express how they feel at every point. If they are sad, it's okay for them
Mm-hmm.
to say they are sad. If they're angry about something that you did, I mean, you're not Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let them say exactly how they feel, because what you're doing is you're not only making them feel comfortable to express themselves at home, you're also
Mm-hmm.
making them feel comfortable to express themselves in a respectful way when they grow up in with their peers in their place of work in like
Yeah.
different environments.
Outside.
Yeah,
Yes.
they see themselves. So
Yes.
yeah, I agree with you.
That is very, very important. Like what I always tell my children is, even when you know I'm gonna be mad, even when you know if Emma hears this, she's not gonna like it. She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be pissed. I want to know about it. I need to know about it. It's gonna be way worse if I find out, and it's gonna be easier if it comes out from your mouth to
Yeah.
me. And that way I can calmly correct you. I can tell you, okay, you don't have to do this anymore. There are better ways to do it, or you could have gone this route and it will give you a better result. you know so being expressive is really, really important. And I feel like while we were growing up as children, you know that part of not being expressive, not communicating, has really done more harm than good to us, especially us in our early 30s now. You know, because I grew up in a home where you don't dare look at your parent in the eye when they're talking to you. You look down. I'm just growing now to understand that when you're talking to someone and you look down, is disrespectful.
It's disrespectful, and it shows you don't have confidence in yourself.
Yes, you gotta look in the face.
Eyeball to eyeball.
You know, I just started learning that. In fact, I learned that I learned that from my church when we had a program. Then I spoke to my pastor. I'm like, so I'm taught not to look at anybody in the eye when they're talking to me, and when you're talking to me, I'm not supposed to say anything until you ask me a question.
Yeah,
and that is bad. It is bad. You should be able to express yourself, and I think I would say I have a very poor communication level because of that. Like, I would rather walk away from a conversation than express to you how I feel deep down. I'm gradually just trying to, and sometimes when I express myself, it comes off as I'm being harsh, I'm being tough,
yes,
I'm being aggressive.
Yes,
because that is what I know. That is what I know. You know, our culture, yeah, Uncle Sherry, you're really right. Our culture really did it did a lot. It did a lot.
A lot of damage.
A lot of damage to us.
Yeah.
You know, and then our parents think it's discipline, but it wasn't discipline. You were subduing me. You were pressing me down. That even after I grew up as an adult, you can be talking to me right now, be like, you're giving me a headache. Please just leave me alone. Like, I want to leave the situation for time to resolve it, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
You gotta
sweeping it under the carpet.
Talk it out. You know? Yes, maybe when the energy is hot, you could like just, okay, can we talk about this later? And give yourself some time and then come back and revisit the issue, other than just walking away. Because walking away from it, you're piling and piling and piling and piling. And one day, something that is not even as little would make you explode, and you would react in the worst way possible. And everybody will be asking you a question like, this does not even warrant the action you're taking right now. You know?
That's me, yeah.
It's not us. We were trained, we were brought up in a way that we were told, don't talk when someone is talking to you, you listen. Even till today, when somebody is talking to me, I'll just be quiet. I'm listening to you. I will just be quiet and not say anything. To them, they feel like you're disrespectful. You're not even saying a word. But to me, I'm like, I am being respectful by not even talking back at you.
Yeah, send a request.
You know? I am being respectful by not talking back at you, but you are feeling like I'm being disrespectful by not responding to you. So our culture really, some of our culture really did a lot of damage to us, that we now had to like grow up to want to correct. So now imagine me that grew up like that, and then my own children. I can train my children like that. I tell my kids, please tell me, say what is on your mind, speak it out. I don't want you keeping nothing in your heart. Say it out. If you're sad, tell me you're sad. Tell me why you're sad and what I can do to make it better. You know? And you know, another thing is, we don't dare cry. Even when they flog you, we don't dare cry. We run and hide to cry. Hi, Uncle Shagun. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, Uncle Shagun. Good afternoon.
Good evening. Good afternoon. Good evening. Yeah, I just wanted to speak to this point because I kind of understand it. You know, so the conversation that you're having now is really driven by the fact that, you know, you're probably living in foreign environments. where the culture and approach of is different. The whole life is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned an interesting lesson. So I was born in England. I started my life in England. I started my education in England.
Mm-hmm.
And in England, at the time, you're allowed to be expressive.
Yeah.
Liam.
It doesn't cause offense. You can say things to your teachers. You can,
Liam. Can you get
you
my
can have an
charger?
opinion.
Help me get my charger.
So it didn't cause offense.
Yeah.
And then my parents moved back to Nigeria, and obviously we all went with them. We're children. And then we got to Nigeria, and it was a whole different ball game where my sisters, my sisters were put in a secondary school, and one day they were having they're twins. There was an English class going on, and the teacher pronounced a word wrong. And my sisters corrected them quite a few times. And so they failed them. They wouldn't let them, proceed to the next class.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So eventually my parents had to take them out of the school, because obviously we didn't understand that it wasn't like England and there was no preparation for what we were going to meet there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what also happened to me one time. In the Yoruba culture, there's a thing where we have a respect culture. So what Tex was talking about, where you don't look at your elders in the face. We have that in the Yoruba culture where you don't look an elder in the face when they're talking to you. That's why we look down and we put our
Yes.
hands behind
At the
our backs
back.
when they talk to
Yes.
us. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So an aunt of mine from the village, came to the house, and I think she stayed with us for a little bit. And I don't know what happened, but she reported to my parents. And I wasn't long in the country, and so whatever it was quite a big thing. My uncles came and my aunts came and all this stuff, and my aunt was lying. And so I said, "But auntie," she said her thing, and I said, "But auntie, you're lying." I didn't mean it disrespectfully. I was just being factual that auntie is not telling the truth,
Yeah.
And in our culture, they say in our Yoruba culture, they say you don't say that an elder is lying.
She's lying. No.
There's
They
a
never
way in
lie.
which so if an elder tells a lie on you, you don't tell them to their face they're lying, but you can tell another elder behind the scenes who will know how to then break it down and whatever. So I said all of this stuff, and and my dad brought out the cane and caned me in front of this woman, and everybody else and all of that. And so a few days later, my dad called me and said, "Listen, I knew you were not lying, but I had to cane you because in this community, people are very fetish. And if he didn't do that, she could go off and do something else, and then I'd have another problem."
Yeah.
And it's true. We need to also remember that in Nigeria is a very fetish place where people do things to
Yes.
people. And no word of a lie, right? I know people, who would come to the house and sit down on the sofa and put juju in the sofa because they were upset that when you come from a different country, of course we didn't understand the language. So at that time, people had this idea that if you spoke with an English accent it was that thing of every small thing was like, oh, because you come from England. But we didn't understand the culture. We didn't understand the language. And so it
Yeah.
used to offend people. And people used to try and harm us and I'm serious. People would come to the house and sit down on the sofa, and maybe they've left and you're arranging the sofa and you see they put some juju by the
Oh
side of the chair. So
goodness.
sometimes
Wow.
your parents will discipline you or prevent you from saying or behaving a certain way so that it doesn't foster a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So until now, and especially if you're dealing with an illiterate who thinks, oh, so because you come from England, now you're not come to embarrass me and saying I'm lying. I'll go to the witch doctor and put some juju on your head, and then you have a 20-year problem. And I
Yeah.
experienced that for real. So I then understood the nuances of the culture and understood why our culture is the way it is, and why we have certain they're actually safeguards. So what you can say to an English person, an American person, or somewhere abroad that will not cause offense can bring you a 20-year problem where you begin to burst in the fire to work out what's wrong with your child.
Yeah.
Because people are very fetish. So some of it was a bit of a protection. I think that the only thing is that, I was lucky that my parents explained, but for the most part, parents never really explained a lot of things to their children. Not in my time anyway. It was just, this is the way it is, but we didn't really understand why. So it took a while to kind of work out, oh, so this is why you don't do this. This is why you don't do that. I remember my sisters, my aunts would come to the house and, English kids, they'll just tell you as it is. It's not that they're being rude. They've learned to express themselves a certain way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're rude, you don't have no manners, you say something that's incorrect. I'm not expected to say, actually, no, that's not correct. Even
Yeah.
they say something like, oh, your mother says something and you can't say, oh, so you're not telling me I'm lying. And you can't turn around and say, Mom, you're lying. But you know what your mom says is factually incorrect. So and those are the kind of things. And so now we come to the West and then we see another model. I have this thing where there's a way we greet our elders. And I have a friend, her mother's passed away, she's Jamaican. But her mother was my mother's age. And when I went to the house, we Yoruba people, we prostrate, I prostrated because she's old enough, she's my mother's age, and she was looking at me like really weird. You're from Africa? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some things that you find it very hard to leave you. And that's just the problem where we have these, you see, Black people, we have a real serious problem because the English person will go anywhere in the world and remain the English person and function as the English person. We have to adapt to wherever. If we're in America, we have to adapt. If we're in Europe, we have to adapt. We have to. And so we have this cultural confusion that goes on sometimes. Because on the one hand, we're Nigerians, but on the other hand, we have to function like we function in the environment where we live. And then you take your children back to Nigeria and they're very, expressive. And then, those children have no manners. They're rude. No, they're not rude. In the culture where they live, this is how you have to express yourself. I had a situation one time where long ago I was contracting with this company and my boss was under investigation. And I was dragged into this whole mess and I had to, in quote, testify against my boss. And I really, really hated the thing because, if you come from Nigeria, you don't snitch on your elders.
Yes. Yes.
And now I have to snitch on people who are in posts, and so some sort of superior position to you. Now I have to snitch on my boss, and it was really uncomfortable. And those are the challenges of raising a child. But I think it's harder because when you're raising a child outside of Nigeria, you've got to raise them for the environment they live in, but you also have to prepare them for if they ever, go home. Or if they come across Nigerians, you can say this to Auntie Jane, who is a white lady from next door. You can't say this to Auntie that comes from the village at home.
Well, Uncle Shadow, I think I'm gonna interrupt you on that part because I think it's quite different right now. You know why I say that? Because even we on our own, like, yes, we're abroad, we're not home. We see how it is. A lot of children, a lot of teenagers, a lot of youth in Nigeria these days, they are very expressive.
Yeah.
When it comes to expressing themselves, they are very expressive. So if you were saying that I need to try to balance it, like train them in the American way and then also remind them of when we go back home, no, I feel like it's gonna cause confusion in their head. It's better to just train a child in the way is best for them. Not to be rude, not to be insultive, not to be over expressive in any way, but at least to an extent. I wasn't taught to be expressive in any way. No, I wasn't. As a young child, I can never speak back to any of my elders. And that has a lot to do with me, even as an adult, even as a mother. It has a lot to do with me. And I don't think I would want to expose my children to that. I would prefer my kids speak out. They express themselves, to whoever in a good manner.
In a polite
It's now my duty to teach them that good manner. So that you, on the other hand, or as an elder, whether back home in Nigeria or abroad or anywhere, you don't see it as you being insulted or you being disrespected in any way, but you would also get the message that this child is trying to tell me how they feel.
Is it that you take it or you leave it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some of all these young girls, in fact, I feel like their bad mouth is even worse. It's not just even bad mouth, like they are expressive in an insulting way
I think,
to you.
yeah.
And you would even know that, yes, this person is being disrespectful to me directly. Like they're not going behind.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe the difference being, I went to Nigeria at a time when, first of all, there was no social media, and a lot of people were not really going abroad. It was a, like it is now. So, because I think Nigeria is a bit more, in a funny sort of way, Nigeria of today is a bit more westernized than when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because of the influences and everything. Yeah, so I understand. But yeah, it's quite an interesting dichotomy. It really is. Because even my children, I say, look, when you see on sunset, make sure you hit your knees. Greet them. Don't mess around with these people, because I'm not going to any mountain of fire to be praying for you. Because of crazy relatives.
And that also reminds me, Uncle Sheldon, you took care of your children alone, right? How was the experience for you, like being a father to your children compared to when you were like single, no children? How
Right.
did that change your life and affected you in a positive and also diverse?
Okay, so when I think of my I liked being a parent, and I like parenting, and I was very fortunate because my father was a very hands-on parent.